Well, the boys around here don't listen to the Beatles run. Old Bo Cephas threw a jukebox needle at the honky-tonk where their boots stomp all night. What? That's right. Yeah, and what they call work a digging in the dirt. Gotta get it in the ground before the rain come down to get paid to get the girl in your four-wheel drive. Yeah, the boys around here drinking that ice-cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit. Oh, heck. Well, the boys around here, they're keeping it country. Ain't a damn one know how to do the Dougie. No, I'm not in Kentucky, but these girls around here, yep, they still love me. Yeah, the girls around here, they all deserve a whistle. Shaking that sugar sweet as Dixie Crystal. They like that yawling southern drawl and just can't help it 'cause they just keep falling for the boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit.
Let's ride through the countryside. Let's ride down to the riverside.
Hey now, girl, hop inside. It's me and you gonna take a little ride to the river. Let's ride. That's right. Lay a blanket on the ground. Kissing in the crickets is the only sound. We out of town. Have you ever got down with a do you wanna get down with a girl, you gotta get down with the boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco. I'm one of them boys around here, drinking that ice cold beer, talking about girls, talking about trucks, running them red dirt roads out, kicking up dust. The boys around here sending up a prayer to the man upstairs. Backwoods legit, don't take no lip. Chew tobacco, chew tobacco, chew tobacco, spit.
Hello. Welcome to the WINGIT call. December 13th, 2016. And we now fall within the 2-day window either side of the UN update. Take a knee, please. Lord, we ask for your guidance. I personally truly need your guidance. None of this belongs to me. It is all yours, and I want you to know I have no idea what you want done. I desperately need your guidance to be a good steward, not just for this lifetime, as they call it, legacy wealth. I'm just passing through. Everything on this planet belongs to you, including me. So I ask this in Jesus Christ's name, to hear this prayer. Amen. Again, I'm not a preacher, a pastor, or any part of a ministerial profession. I just pray from the heart, and it's day to day, minute to minute. Thank you for showing up again today. It's going to be an interesting call, to say the least. Disclaimer. Yes, the recording is going. We're not attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors. Nothing on this call is to be taken as any form of financial advice. And for the rest of the disclaimer, please go to thewingitcall.com. There's a disclaimer tab. Click on that and you'll have the rest of the disclaimer. Also, at the end of business close, California time, the replays for the Masters Trust link and some of the other replay links will be gone. So, and yes, I know August is not working. Sorry. But it is what it is. So if you haven't got anything that you wanted downloaded by then, you've had plenty of ample opportunity, and that will end as of business close, California time. What else? We have so much to talk about today. I've done so much reading. My phone, it was at 100% this morning at 6 o'clock. I looked at it at 10 o'clock, and I had to recharge the darn thing again. And I've got a Galaxy 7. It's just been blowing up. Good or bad, it's just been ringing. The Bluetooth for the ear, 7-hour charge. Had to recharge it twice already. So, first rattle out of the box, I will defer to my elder, Art Meister. Come on down.
I'm glad I'm an elder. Thank you, Jerry. Good afternoon, Jerry. Good afternoon, everyone in currency land. You're still waiting. We're still waiting. That's all I know is we're still waiting. The only thing I hear every day is we're expecting numbers. Some say before Christmas. Some say after Christmas. Some say we've been promised before Christmas. Some say, oh, no, not until Trump gets in and is sworn in and Obama's gone. Then we'll see it. So, hey, take your pick, I guess, but it's positive. We know it's going to happen. That's the only thing we all need to know. And just pray it in, I guess, because I've literally, there's no more intel as far as I'm concerned. I'm not hearing any, except it's done, and we're waiting for somebody to release it. What they're still holding it for, I don't know. Report come out 2 days ago at that, what do you call it, TMZ, whatever it was, saying that it would be out by yesterday, actually, in New Zealand. Well, we're a day late on that one, and this morning I had a little brief report there that said Tuesday. So, I don't know. Maybe there's still hope. Today is early, and it's only Central Time, a little bit after 2:30. So, hey, let's hang in there. Maybe Bruce will have the numbers tonight on this call. Who knows? He's been looking for them for a long time, like everybody else. And so that's about all I can offer. Just a very, very Merry Christmas to everybody if I don't talk to you again, and certainly a Happy New Year and prosperous Christmas and New Year for all of us. That's what we're looking for. So turn it back to you, Jerry.
Thanks, Art. I tweeted out a link yesterday. A lot of good feedback. When I find these links, I'm looking not at the title, but I'm reading the body, the content. And this is what I am tweeting out. And some people have said, well, have you really read it? Yes. Maybe but not by who it's put out. I ignore that. I'm looking at the content. Just as the last one that I tweeted out just before the call started, it's not who it's by, it's the body, the content. Because it starts off to the General and the New Republic. Okay. Just, if you get a chance, read it. But I want to read the whole thing, but there's so much to talk about today. But there is one little section of that link that I tweeted out that I want to read. Where is it at? Okay. For those, I'm reading the article here, portions of it, or a couple paragraphs. For those of us who have sacrificed much longer than these new folks, who have experienced rejection, pain, and suffering for over 20 years, we have traveled treacherous dead-end roads, which by the grace of God has led us to this moment. Who will adapt and overcome as we have time and time again. We are ready to get started and have waited eons to have the ability to make a difference in the world. One of the truest statements I've read on these blogs is that money doesn't change people, it magnifies their character. It magnifies what's in their hearts. And for so long, the truly good people of the world have been dealt a horrible hand when it comes to financial resources. A true warrior walks not in arrogance, but in humility. But a warrior will also know to discern right from wrong and will never be made to cower in the face of evil. There are legions of warriors who will never and have never posted on any blog site, who will never start their own calls or try and sell some product. Much like a highly trained special ops soldier, we remain silent, waiting in the darkness to come into the light. Patience is the key. And I've always said, patience, grasshopper. And yes, I have lost my patience from time to time. And then, there's more to this, but we all at times lose hope. What the hell is going on? We're just human. We're not God. We would like to think that we have the patience of Job. I do at times. Sometimes that is extremely fleeting. So here we go back to the paragraph. Patience is key with any mission. We are the true sleeping giants of America, the nation of all nations, filled willed people of all people. We all realize some of the messages being sent out to this community are meant to light a sacred fire inside of us to do the right thing, to truly make America and the world a better place again. But do you realize this fire was lit long ago? It may seem it has faded from glossy eyes staring at cell phones, but you are wrong. There's more to it, but you get the idea there. And I had a bunch of tabs opened up on my computer, so that I want to say, burr to all the people up in the above the Mason-Dixon line. It is colder than a well digger's hoo-hoo. Okay, and that's damn cold. I'm on the weather.com, and the people up north, you are freezing things off that you never knew you had. Stay warm, please. Got that covered. Let's get over here. Oh, yeah, star 2 to raise your hand. I had talked with Wingman about this. We were going to do a skit, but I'm going to forego it today. And I'm just going to get right into name calling and bashing, if that's what you want to call it. But it is still the truth. And this is directed at Bruce. And I know a lot of people like Bruce, but I want you to listen closely to what I have to say before you tune out or throw me underneath the bus. Bruce used to have a Q&A on his call, and he has stopped Q&A, and he only hawks his wares and then does his intel and then reads his email, and he's cherry-picking his email. I've had many people send me, they sent this to Bruce and his reply, which when you start questioning him, but Bruce, this is to you. Why don't you open Q&A up again so that people can ask questions and question the intel that you bring rather than listening to only what you hear, and let people ask? You used to do that. Why have you stopped? Are you afraid of something? Don't you wish to interact with the people anymore? I think that maybe there's 2 or 3 calls out there. This one, Ray, I think BGG, I'm not sure. There might be 4 or 5 where people can actually call in and ask questions. Bruce, man up, open the lines back up, and let people ask questions about the intel portion, not just your products that you're hawking to make money. I can't fault you for that. I've been told it's a good product. So instead of cherry picking, step up, do the right thing like you used to, bring on some bankers, or these people that you're getting, the lower end bankers from around the world. Let them say what's going on. I mean, it's nothing. You know, I wish I had bankers. If they want to come on, I'd give them a platform. Hey, you know, where you at? Oh, we're over here in the Middle East, and this is what's going on. You know, this is what this is about, sharing information. Dizzy, change your thong. Lay off the umbrella drinks. Stop calling it every night. Yes, I know everybody out there has discernment, but when we're gone, who's going to call these people out or bring to light what they're doing or what they used to do, and they don't do it anymore? There seems to be a change where, and I got to admit, Dizzy does take callers on his F&O call, Facts and Opinions. I got to admit, he's doing a good job. He's got more information about certain things that I do, but the market was supposed to be a good indicator. Not so much. You know, if we're in the throes of a total collapse and the Dow keeps going up, it's being manipulated for a reason. So, just a few things. Wingman, I'm sure I have missed something. What have I missed?
Oh, boy. I don't know where to begin. That's not a criticism of you. I think my contribution today is to stimulate the folks who have an idea of what's going on, and to help them be ready for the actual revaluation, and to help them understand that the model we've been fed, especially over the past few years since Tony's call, is no longer the model. And not that I'm saying any of the following is true, but we all need to consider, because we all need to be prepared. And like any battle, and in many ways this is a battle, once the first shot is fired, the plan changes. So I would like everybody to consider this. What if there are no 800 numbers? What if there are no exchange centers? What if the people behind this, people really behind this, aren't real happy with conservative Christians? What if this step-by-step process, which has been going on for the past 40 years, still needs a few years to complete. What if? What if there's never going to be a formal announcement except two guys in a closet in Baghdad whispering to one another and then releasing it to the Bavarian Times on page 19 of a local newspaper to satisfy the legal requirements of 13303. That's just a small listing of what may not be according to what we think is true. And the biggest one is, what if all of these people, all the way down the line, for the past, ever since 1303 was signed, what if nobody actually knows what is going on? That there really is only a handful of people directing this thing, financing it with their own agenda, be it good or bad. What if? You got to stay on your toes. That's the key to this whole thing. You have not just about being flexible, but you've got to stay on your toes, and you got to start cutting through the BS. Because right now there is more BS out there than there is legitimate intelligence. But we've all been taught, we've all got the tools now, we've all got the analytical tools to figure out what's going on. And the people who are going to benefit most from this RV are the ones who are going to figure out the final pieces of the puzzle and get into action. And it's not going to be, I don't think, some central announcement mechanism. And again, this is all my opinion, guys. This is where I've come to. This is also why I feel the call has served its usefulness, because we really have exhausted the current model. Now, hopefully, that's it. We're done this week. I mean, I'm all for that. Believe me, I am all for that. But what if we're not? You gotta get your life straight and understand this process and not let it overwhelm you and not be a victim. You gotta take care of business in spite of where the RV is at. You know, people are losing their houses, people are losing their minds, all because they're hanging on every little piece of information, every little piece of hopium. And if that's how you're running your life now, like Jerry just said, that's who you're going to be, whether you've got $50 million in the bank or you've got nothing in the bank. You know, you got to be able to run your life as it is. So, yeah, I guess that's all I want to say. Just what if? Because it's not the model that Tony put out. I guarantee that. I guarantee it. And I'll argue with anybody who wants to argue about it. But I can show you it's not the model Tony put out. So what is the model?
Nobody knows. Glad to see Tony's out of prison. He served his time. He's on probation now. Ray's calling it again. I'm sure probably with some input from Tony. I don't know. But stop it. Nobody, unless you're an author of the plan or a PTV or the button push or whatever's going on, you don't know squat. And another thing, you know, we all heard about the Paris Agreement and the Gold Treaty inside of it, yet we can't find anything about it. I say that to say this. Bruce was saying that, we're back on the gold standard. If that's the case, there would be something somewhere, and we've got people worldwide looking at all this information, and they know that. But if we're back on the gold standard, this would be going through, but of course it goes back to the golden rule. Eat what the gold makes the rules. Hence, we have no gold, we make no rules. So we're just spectating on the sidelines like in a football game. We're seeing the action. We're keeping an eye on the ball, hopefully, but we're spectating. Star 2 to raise your hands. I got one person with their hand raised. I need a couple of more before I start taking callers. Why am I on Bruce's case? Because Bruce used to do Q&A and then he stopped and then he started cherry picking. That's not right. He's not answering any hard, reasonable questions because you can't get to him. Oh, email me. Now, that's a bunch of hogwash. Trust me, because I've got probably a half a dozen emails where people have sent in legitimate questions and it never gets to them on the call. So that's called cherry picking, Bruce. Man up, take some calls, answer some questions. So first caller, you were respectful last time, so I'll take your call this time. Truth Seeker, come on down.
Thank you, Jerry Maguire. I will honor your request. I do want to say this about Bruce. You're absolutely correct. Bruce is indeed cherry picking. There's no need for that. If you are a truthful and upright citizen of these United States of America, then you should have no problem asking or answering questions from the people that's listening to your call. So man up, Bruce. I totally agree with you, Jerry Maguire, on that. As far as Tony, my dear friend, let me say about Tony. Yes, he is on probation. He has no business being on Ray Rand's call at all. None whatsoever. So please adhere to that. And as far as other calls are concerned, the truth will set them free. If they know anything about the truth, tell the people the truth. And as far as Joseph is concerned, he is a person you need to pray for because he doesn't know anything.
I'm glad you brought him up. I forgot to say this, and I'm not. If I don't say it now, I'll forget, and then you can continue on. People are saying, "Hey, we heard you say that two people to listen to were Veritas and one who believes." No. Turn your speakers down, please. I'll just mute you for a second. No. My personal belief is that Joseph is now one who believes. Looks like his writing. Smells like his writing. I still say that Veritas and one who believes is part of Team Joseph. Beware. I've said it again. Here it is for the third time. I'm done beating the dead horse. Use your own discretion, which I know you will. True Seeker, you're back on. Go ahead.
And I totally agree with you, Jerry Maguire. That dead horse is dead. Leave it where it lies. And if you don't have an iota ounce of intelligence, people tend to mislead. They are professional liars. They're pumpers, and they need to quit. And that's all I want to say. And thank you, Jerry Maguire, for being the gentleman that you are. I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Jacksonville, 904. Come on down.
Jerry, How you doing today?
Howdy. Redneck
Jerry?
Radio with a bit of attitude.
Jerry, let me ask you a question seriously. You don't believe that there's anybody know the time, the date, and the hour this is actually going to happen? You don't believe there's anybody?
Not in Denarland. We are
No,
so far down the pay scale.
I'm not talking about Denarland. I'm not talking about Denar. Somebody knows something. They may not be talking, but somebody knows something.
Oh, absolutely. What I'm saying is people in Denarland that say, we got contacts way up there and they're saying blah, blah, blah. Unless you're in the room, I think it's still below their pay grade. But what do I know? I'm just redneck radio.
Jerry, I'm going to tell you this. I got my staff. I have my advisory board. Show me the money. Thank you, Jerry.
Well, now if I show you the money, how much kickback do I get?
You'll be surprised.
Thank you, sir.
You'll be surprised.
Orange, Texas, come on down.
Hey, Jerry, how you guys doing today?
Redneck Radio with a touch of attitude.
Well, I listened to IKO, and I believe all of us need to be watching all the time. Who's going to tell us when this is going to happen? But I think all of us understand that the reason why we even got this to start off with, and you all have said this, was because of the Internet. So is there going to be 800 numbers? I don't know. Are there going to be anybody that's going to tell us what's going to happen on the Internet? Probably. But it's not going to just come by two guys behind a closed door and then go and we'll never know about it. I think that's one of the reasons why they're all ticked off anyway, is because we really weren't supposed to know about it. But since the Internet was what it was, and we've all found out what we found out, we're gonna be able to be okay with it. And yeah, you're right, those other guys are like off the chain and off the chart. Those guys you were talking about, that I don't even want to talk about. But I think we're all going to be okay. I really do. When this happens, we'll know. You know, like I said to you not too long ago, there's a company close to where I'm at that's going to build refineries in Iraq. And they've got contracts already written, but they're not going to go until they have money. But they also have a computer with a program in it that tells them what the rates are in country right now. And like I told you, they said it was 0.83 is what they're seeing on their computer. It's not something that we can get into. So the money's there, and they can't rebuild that country without money. They just can't. There's a lady that's in Arizona that I know that was in the Kuwait thing. She just was there and got real lucky, and she's a multi-millionaire because she just was there and she got lucky. That was prior before the Internet stuff. So everybody needs to sit down a little bit and don't get too excited about losing everything because we really don't know exactly where we are. But I believe in some of these people that are. I also believe that our government is feeding us, trying to give us as much information as they possibly can. So when this does happen, most of us that write this stuff down and listen will go to the banks in an ordinary, well, not an ordinary, but in a really nice manner and get their stuff done and leave and be okay. Anyway, that's my opinion. And again, I really appreciate you guys. And yeah, I'm going to be like everybody else. We're going to miss you very much. Y'all have a great one.
Thank you.
And you just said the key phrase there. People who are paying attention. I agree. You're absolutely right. They're going to be okay. You all are going to be okay. But it's the people who are waiting to be spoon-fed the information, like a bunch of fifth graders waiting to be let out for lunch or let out on the playground for recess. Those are the folks that are going to miss the boat. And
I care, you're so right.
That's, and that's actually okay. I mean, I don't want to be mean-spirited, and I don't want to be elitist, and I don't want to be any of those things. But the fact is, the folks who are following this, who are paying attention, are also the ones who will manage this kind of money effectively. And the ones who are going to miss the boat really shouldn't have this money. I mean, I know that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers, but it's dangerous. It's actually dangerous for all of us to have people who simply don't know how to manage the money with these kind of bank accounts. That's not a good thing. It goes back to Jerry's analogy of watering the lawn with the fire truck. That's not a good idea. It just isn't.
Very true.
So for everybody, I don't want to. I want to thank you for pointing that out, because I don't want people to be afraid that nobody's going to find out about this. That's not the case. But you got to be smart about it. You got to pay attention. And post RV, you got to get even smarter and pay even more attention. So anyway, thanks for that comment.
Well, I want to say this.
Have a good day.
I'm going to go ahead and mute you. You got a lot of noise. I want to say this. You know, when months ago I said if I get the 800 numbers, I'll tweet them out. And then the person that shall remain unnamed kept saying that they're going to be brought out to specific intel providers. Let me back up here a little bit. This is thinking, you know, instead of staying inside the box, let's think outside the box. If there is nothing to give out by any intel provider, then there's nothing they can do about it. Ray won't be able to give nothing out. Neither will Dizzy. I won't. Bruce won't be able to give anything out. They might just say, look, you know, if they were to give out 800 numbers, they could say, all right, you can give the number out, but this is all you can give out. That's it. That's all the information. And I have a feeling that they might end up doing that. I don't know. I'm trying to think outside the box. What I'm telling you is if I get any information and they give me strict guidelines, I'm going to follow it to a T, because I'm not endangering myself, my family, or anything else that I've worked hard for. And I think if you put yourself in my position, you would say the same thing. So all we can do is remain vigilant. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to give you the facts, like the F&O call, facts and opinions, giving you some facts here. If that does happen, I'm sure that they are not going to be able to sneak it past us, because, you know, the quote was at one time, well, they're going to bring it in when you least expect it. We're expecting it 24/7, 7 days a week. When is there a time for that to happen? Not. West Point, home of West Point, come on down, 410.
Thank you for taking my call. I applaud you, gentlemen, for this conversation of topic today. It's well deserved. I just wanted to say, you know, you guys have mentioned this several times, both Iko and yourself, that you have to have, first off, a plan A, B, and C, and more importantly, make sure that you're doing your own due diligence with your own research behind this. We all know that this is an investment, that if you're using your last bit of money to hope that it's a crapshoot that we're going to get the RV tomorrow, and it doesn't happen, and you can't pay your bills, shame on you. Because you should know that this is an investment. Yes, it could pay off, but it also couldn't. And you guys have been truthful enough to be saying this from the get-go about, you know, it's a chance. We're in the right place. We know that there is something happening, but you can't put all your eggs in this one basket. So I'm glad that we're having this talk, because the same people that are having this issue right now and having issues with their home, and believe me, I don't like to see anyone be in a situation where they're struggling or, you know, without things, but those same people will be the ones that will help put this economy, and then in 5-10 years from now, they'll be right back to where they are, square one. So it's a great conversation, and I applaud you gentlemen for that, and, you know, have a great day, sir.
Thank you. Sauce Dude, come on down. Oh, a lot of feedback there, Sauce Dude. You need to do something. It's your earbuds or something. Fix that real quick. 1, 2, 3. You probably got it fixed.
Yeah, I
Sauce
think so. Yeah, Bruce says he's got bankers. He's got 3-letter agencies. I've heard, Tony used to say 3-letter agencies were in contact with him. Have you guys ever had a contact with a 3-letter agency telling you anything at all?
Nope. I'm too low on the totem pole.
Okay. And then one other question is, with you guys backing off like you are, how close do you really feel we are? Months, or like Heiko said, years maybe? What if, years?
No, I'm going out on a limb here, and I said it a couple of calls ago, and you've got a lot of feedback there. I'll say it again. I'm hoping, at one time I said, out with the old, in with the new. The old ends on December 31st. So we could possibly be going out with the old and bringing in the new just before the new year. And we might actually have to wait until the new president is sworn in, because I said I've heard rumors that the current administration, quote, hell will freeze over before we release it, and people keep saying that they have nothing to do with it. That could possibly be true. Other people could be holding it back. But look at where we're at, and I heard that quote 2 or 3 years ago, and I'm thinking, no. But politics is a funny thing. Let me unmute you again. All right.
Okay.
Sauce Dude.
Yeah.
And I have a different perspective on that. I don't want anybody to think I'm predicting it's years out. That's not what I was talking about. I was saying, what if that is the case? My personal opinion is that it is imminent. Okay.
Okay.
And by imminent, I mean, tonight, next week. That one of the issues here is we've all been taught to think in shorter cycles. And people, I believe, who are controlling this are thinking in much longer cycles. And it's not, how should I put it? It's both simple and complicated. The simplicity is that there is a controlling entity. And everyone, including, in my opinion, this administration, are looking to that entity and trying to figure out when they are going to release the fund. Because that's the golden rule, right? He who has the gold. There is a he who has the gold, or a they who have the gold. And y'all can figure it out. I can't name the gold holders, but there are gold holders. And it's a combination of they who have the gold looking at the entire planet and saying, yes, we're a go. And it will go. The last step will be in place. A lot of things like the Paris Accords happened this year, and a lot of other things happened this year because the planet is now in a position, and I'm talking about planet, the financial planet, is now in a position where it is ready. All of the infrastructure is in place. Okay? And people controlling this know that world politics are never going to be, there's never going to be a perfect moment. There's going to be a mess. It's going to be messy when it goes. But it will work itself out because the structure is in place essentially to hold the flood, or at least to guide the flood of new finance and asset-backed currencies and OPEC agreements, and you name it. Just look at everything that's happening. Just look at it and put it all in one little puddle and say, okay, we've got the puddle, we've got the borders up. And even if the puddle grows, the walls are high enough to contain it. We are in that position. Everywhere you look, if can see evidence that we are in that position. So I think it's imminent, but again, we are trained to look for American-centric moments like the inauguration, like the end of the fiscal year, like 10 other examples of that. When the people controlling this, they're not looking at those things. They're considering those things, just like they're considering Brexit, and just like they're considering the 15 OPEC members coming up with a target of $60 a barrel. They're looking at those things. That's part of their decision making as to when to release it. But there's also this again, a lot of people have talked about this step-by-step process, and I'm seeing it in my own experience now of the RV. One step gets finished, I get turned on to another step. That step gets complete, I get turned on to another step. What nobody is being given is, is this the last step? Is this really, really, really the last step? Sure feels like it's the last step, but what we find out is, no, there was one more step. And it's not people jerking us around. That's not what it's about. It's about making sure that this thing goes off as smoothly as it can, because we're talking about the survival of the human race. We really are. Don't kid yourselves. That's what this is about. This is about ending violent warfare. This is about ending killing to accomplish goals. This is about inclusion. It's about love. It's about all those high-minded ideals that we don't have an experience of. We really don't, not in this century.
Sauce Dude, does that cover everything?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll tell you this, Jerry. I'll be heading your way.
And I can't wait to taste
January.
it either.
I'll be heading your way to
contact me when you get here.
Okay, I will. Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Yep.
What was I going to say? Again, Iraq is not the sole indicator of end-all of end-alls. They're just part of the process. They don't control the global financial reset or global currency reset or whatever you want to call it. They're not even the linchpin anymore. The entire world is the linchpin. It has changed from them being the linchpin to being a good indicator. Just think about that. It's just a good indicator. There's something else that'll come back to me in a minute. Orlando, 407.
How you doing this afternoon, Jerry? Enjoying the call today, one of the better ones yet, in my opinion. Like you all were saying, if you're in tune, and if you watch the news about midnight to 4 o'clock in the morning on those what I call the financial news, like Iko said in the past, get rid of all the political BS that they talk about, and listen to what they're saying. They don't say it in our terms of GCRRV, but they're giving signals every night between 12 a.m. and 4 a.m. every freaking morning. This thing, I have to agree with Iko, it's imminent. Because you look at the commercials, they're talking about buying gold and silver and wealth management commercials. They're blowing up the TV right now. I think every other commercial now is about a wealth management system or people. It's little hints like that people need. And like Iko said, if you're doing your homework, and you said if you're actually paying attention to this, you're going to be just fine because you're listening to what's being talked about. Look at what's her name said yesterday in the soothing trial. Reset this, reset that, reset this, reset that. That's part of these things people need to pay attention to. That's what you need to listen to when you're listening to these news things. Take all the other crap away and listen to what they're talking about the financial system of the globe. That's how important this thing is. Because like you said, none of you are supposed to know about this. In 2003, we were under armed guard to make sure we didn't buy any of this currency outside of the bazaar. We were not allowed to even touch it until 2004, 2005. So You know, it's coming. It's like we said. Look back from 2003 to right now, how far we've come already. Exactly.
All righty.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
So, thank you, sir.
I remember what it is now. So a totally different topic here. Jerry Maguire, is personally looking for somebody that is or has been in the Merchant Marines or the Coast Guard, that was a captain and was at the inception, the keel lane of a ship. If you were, please contact me at the wingitcall@gmail.com. I'd like to speak with you. So again, if you were in the Merchant Marines or the Coast Guard at the inception of the keel lane, please contact me at the wingitcall@gmail.com. I have a couple questions. Star 2 to raise your hands. Truth Seeker, round 2.
Very, very good. Thank you very much. I want to answer your question concerning about maritime. And also, too, I want people to pay close attention. That gentleman who just talked about the commercials, he is absolutely correct. There are tons and tons of wealth management of certain banks are promoting this. That is true. Pay attention to the commercials because that's a good indication what is to come. Now, concerning about this maritime, the ships and so forth, I do want to say this. A good indication is go into a Walmart and go up and down the aisles and look at the products that are leaving the shelves and not being replenished. And then you come back and you look at the business section. It's called the dry index. That is a very good indication of what is to come in the next few weeks. If Walmart does not replenish their stockpiles in the grocery aisles, that's a good indication that we're headed toward a financial crash. And the gold standard will be indeed activated. Now, as far as January 1st, Jerry Maguire, you hit it right on the mark. December 31st is an excellent pinpoint because you have this thing that's going on right now with former President George H.W. Bush. He's in court right now in California for what? For 9/11. Okay.
Oh, did that go through? Is he actually in court for those war crimes?
Yes, he is, Jerry Maguire. His feet is being held to the fire. Now, let me say this about that. The court is going to rule in that woman's favor. Now, I do want to say, when it's all said, she's the only one that has survived because all the rest of those whistleblowers have been killed. And you can imagine who done that because they don't want the story out to the public. Okay? Just like this false news information about Hillary and Bill Clinton and all the rest of these Satanist individuals. And it's true that one lone gunman that went to Washington, D.C., he's not crazy. He's absolutely correct. These individuals are Satanists. And all this information is going to come out very shortly. You got between the 19th of December when this thing called the Electoral College gets finalized on the 19th of December. Well, there may be a surprise in store. And I'm not going to dwell on that because it's not going to be pretty when it's all said and done.
Oh yeah,
So
they're trying to keep Trump from reaching 270. Then it falls to Congress. Then, I understand.
There are some people out there on the Republican side does not want this to happen, and I'm telling you, they're leading the way, and it's not looking good for Trump. And I'm gonna say it like that. I'm gonna be very honest. There are some key people that's in the Republican Party that have spoken up already, and you can tell who they are in the media.
Mm-hmm.
And certain individuals have clout. I mean, they have capital over Donald Trump. I'm telling you. And if you've been paying any attention last week, when Paul Ryan went in to see Donald Trump, he gave a lightning interview. It was a swift interview. It was the quickest interview I ever seen from Paul Ryan. He said, well, we had a great conversation, and we had a wonderful talk. Thank you very much. That's it. And he left. That tells me the boom is getting to be lowered on Donald Trump.
Okay.
That says a whole lot. And I'm going to leave it at that, Jerry
All
McGuire.
right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay. Marshall, Texas. Hey, I've been out there.
Yes, and please don't announce where I am. Thank you. My name is Roxanne.
Howdy.
Hi. The reason why I'm calling, I need to know the real truth about these groups in Reno. I have several friends that are in groups, and of course they're under the NDA, but of course nothing has happened because they're still living in, apartments and hotels, etc. And also this Dave Smith, whatever his name is.
Dave Schmidt.
Character. Yes. Okay, now he has everybody turning flips over this.
Up in a tizzy. Yeah.
Yes. So what do you know about the groups and the Reno scenario? Is
Nothing.
it happening?
I don't know anything about the groups in Reno. I don't know anybody there. Don't have any contacts there. I can't answer anything about that.
Okay. Now Bruce mentioned he was in a group, General 64. I don't know if it was the old General 64 or the new General 64. However, I haven't heard him say
the General's group is now known as Wells Fargo.
Oh, okay. So apparently, since he's still on call, they must be still waiting, I suppose.
Everybody's still waiting. Nothing has happened. Nobody's been paid.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's all I need to know. Thank you very much. Have a good, blessed day.
You too. Bye. Nobody's been paid. Admiral hasn't been paid. None of the groups have been paid. Wells Fargo. A lot of SKRs have been issued. And star 2 to raise your hand. You want to ask a question? Wingman? Oop, hold on. Phoenix, 480, come on down.
Yes, Jerry. Is there any way that I could get in touch with Truth Seeker? I would love to have him call me. You can give him my number, whatever. I have a lot of things I'd like to discuss.
Let me say this. If I start doing that, there's going to be a lot of problems, and then the people are going to hold me responsible
Okay.
And especially if somebody comes out and tracks you down, then I'm responsible. So, unfortunately, the answer is no, I can't do that. Okay? I'd love to, but I'm too much responsibility. Think about it for me.
Right, I understand. Is there any way that you could call me?
Well, maybe. What do you want to know?
I don't even need to know your number. You can just call my number.
What is it you'd like to know?
I just have a lot of information that I've been told that I just can't discuss.
Well, I'm not discrediting that, but do you know how many times I've heard that?
Oh,
So if
I
I do call you, it will be because I have blocked my number, okay?
That's great. That's fine. I honor that.
Yep.
I would appreciate it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you know what? Nobody has their hand raised. I guess we're probably done for the day, Wingman. What do you think? Wingman? I hear you.
There we go. Well, then I'd say we lucked out.
Awesome.
Yeah, folks, this and again, not to disparage the woman that was just on, but if you're looking for answers, do not look toward people like me and Jerry, Bruce, Dizzy, everybody who's been giving answers to date. The fact is, and this is, I don't want to use the word truth because truth is a loaded word, but the fact is much of the information that we've been given over the years that we believed was factual turns out it is not factual. And right now, in Deanorland, I don't care who you speak to, nobody has that one answer you're looking for. Okay? It's time to intellectually stand on your own 2 feet and figure this out for yourself. It's something we all have to, it's like riding a bicycle. You get on you walk alongside it, we've had training wheels on this whole time. Okay, now it's time to take the training wheels off, and yes, some of us are going to fall down a few times before we gain that balance and get it. But now it's time. There's you got to take the training wheels off, and part of it, and training wheels are looking to others for answers. Nobody has the answer. That's the genius of what has been going down. Nobody has the answer. A lot of people think they have the answer, and a lot of people have put themselves out as, I know the guy who has the answer. Well, none of them. And I mean this. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you some things, but it's a no-fly zone. Nobody who says they have the answer has the answer. If you get that one fact, you can then move forward and do your own analysis and your own listening. The guy who talked about midnight to 4 o'clock, yeah, that's where the real world's happening, guys. Not during prime time. Prime time's out there to make money. The real world is going down between midnight and 4 o'clock Eastern time. That's another fact. Get on the internet. Shipping. A perfect example is shipping. I've got that program. I paid $3,000 so that I could look at the manifest and all that other stuff on these merchant marine and these tankers and everything else. And the bottom line is, if you're producing oil, you're putting on a ship that's being paid in yuan and it's being sent east. They're coming out of the Persian Gulf and they're turning left. If you're producing oil up in the North Sea fields, you're being paid in U.S. dollars, and they're coming back down through the English Channel and they're turning right. That in itself is a giant indicator of where we're going, because now literally the world economy is divided in half. It's people who are based on yuan and people who are based on U.S. dollars. And the U.S. dollar, if you've been paying attention, is dying. It has to. It can't help it. It's a mathematical certainty. The fiat dollar is dying. And eventually, everything's got to be asset backed. Look at, and again, look at the Paris Accord. It really is, guys. It's all out there. But you got to stop. You got to stop asking one person like they're going to have the key to solving your life. They're not. You have the key to solving your life. That's it. It's that simple. It's that simple. As soon as you get that, you're on your way. You control your life. You have the power to control your life, especially if you live in the United States. The only obstacle in the United States is you. Not the government, not the immigration, not the morals, pro-choice, etc. Now we got hands up, right?
Oh my God, let's anonymous, no name, no city. Come on down.
Who is the Admiral?
Oh, he's out in Reno.
So he's like the boogeyman?
Yeah. No, he's supposed to be out in he's part of a group, the Admiral's group. That's who he is. That's all I know.
You think the Admiral is actually a person?
I think it's fictitious. Another Dinar land story like the Zim.
I would tend to side.
Oh, this is you. That the Zim is worthless and it's wallpaper and blah blah blah.
That I would not side. Yeah. I don't side with that at all. In fact, the Zim is the key to this whole thing.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. But it is.
They had the big story.
I tell you what, if the Zim is worthless, then you will be the king of I told you so. But if it's not, and you don't have any, you're going to be crying in your beer, and I'll supply you a keg for your life.
Well, I got a couple, but I figured I blew my money on it. But I got it back when they said it was a currency, and then when it was no longer a currency, and they make up this story that it's a bond. I mean
well, like again, we won't know till we get there, and when you drop it on the table, and they say, "Ooh, well, sir, we're going to take 6 zeros off, but we're going to give you $2 or $3." You're going to go, "Holy shit! Jerry Maguire was right."
So how do they take these zeros off? They take a magic marker and mark them off there? I mean, come on.
Again, look, they can do anything they want. They've got the gold. If they don't take 6 zeros off, they're going to give you a penny, a half a cent, because a penny is $1 trillion. Okay, so they can do anything they want. Stop thinking inside the box and think outside the box, okay?
Well, they can't do anything they want because they got to pay for it. I mean,
they can do anything
give everybody
they want.
Trillions of dollars. Well,
there you go.
I hate to hear you guys not doing the call anymore because these people like Bruce and Ray Wren and Tony, they need to be called out. I mean, I'm shocked you let Art on because he's such a Bruce lover. And I mean, he's such a fraud. I mean, be right one time. Come on. So, but I hate you guys are going because nobody else out there will call a fraud. But I don't agree with you on everything, obviously. But I'm glad you've been out there. So, hope you change your mind and do a call once a week. Thanks.
All right. Thank you. Oh yeah, and obviously when this is the last week of 2 calls a week. So this Friday will be the last Friday call ever for the rest of the year. And so the last 2 weeks of this month, Tuesday will be the calls. One call a week, Tuesday and Tuesday, the 20th and the 27th. Sitting here looking at my calendar now.
Hey, JR, I just want to add something to what Anonymous said, because he's thinking logically. But if you look at his history, there was a time when salt was worth more than gold.
Yeah.
You know? And we all know that. We all know that. Salt was worth more than gold because that was the most valuable asset at that time. And the civilized world ran on that. So think of the Zim as the new gold. Okay? Not the Zim itself, but what the assets that it is based upon, the value of the Zim bonds, what they are based upon as the new gold. It's not yellow metal. Okay? It's not just yellow metal. It's the fact that Zimbabwe sits on the largest access to the African aquifer water. It's because Zimbabwe has more rare earth metals per cubic meter of soil than the rest of the planet. The rest of the planet. You got to think in those terms. You cannot get locked into 19th century thought and 19th century values. They're gone. They're over. It's a new world in that respect. What the world needs now, besides love, is different. The raw materials are different. The switch over from fossil fuels to renewable energy, to space propulsion, all of those things that we were brought up to think of as science fiction. Okay, it's no longer science fiction. They're real. They're out there, and somebody's going to sell it to somebody else, and that's what an asset is. It's the salt. It's the new salt. So you got to recognize that. I get it. 4,000 years ago, if I had a pot of gold and I had a pot of salt, I'd think, I'm a wealthy guy. I own the gold. What's this white powder? Yeah, it makes my food taste good. So what? But it wasn't about making food taste good. It was about preserving food. It was about feeding massive populations.
Back when the term was worth its weight, salt was worth its weight of gold. Okay, so let's.
Gold.
Here we've really opened up a can of worms when I click on this person.
Good. Good. Let the worms crawl in and crawl out.
Auburn.
I'm not a worm, Iko. But I will tell you, baby, plug your ears, because I'm going to address Anonymous. First of all, anybody that has researched Zimbabwe and their currency would know it's a bond. I think Mr. Anonymous wants spoon-fed. So that's just my opinion. And as far as Bruce, I agree with you guys about Bruce. He should be able to do a live Q&A, because I think he's trying to avoid some people. And I am challenging Bruce as well to bring on the bankers, because I'd like to talk to some bankers. So anyway, thanks, guys.
Yeah, talking to the bankers don't know anything. They've been purposely kept in the dark. I now have
what a way to call them out,
conversations. Though. Yeah, that's true, I guess. But they'll have nothing to say. They'll have nothing to say.
And that's probably what Bruce is. That's what Bruce is trying to avoid.
Maybe. But that's again, that all right, okay. I can see that.
And we're going to take our last caller of the day. We saved the best for last. Chutzpah!
Hey, you recognize me? How are you? I just got back from Pep Boys. Let me tell you something. Them people are a bunch of thieves. They really are. But you know what? They got good
that's
service.
That's why they got the 3 pictures up there, and we call them down here the 3 thieves. So give us a little wrap up. Don't get too carried away, because
I'm not going to get carried away. I just want to say I miss you guys already. You're not even gone, and I miss you already. I think I'm going to miss you the most, Iko, because of your chutzpah, brother. I mean, I love you guys, and I really hate to see us go. But I mean, you know, every good thing I guess got to have its place, you know. Nothing lasts.
Wait, hold on.
Can I just
got an email
insert a piece of trivia?
Guys, you're gonna make me cry.
Right after this, I just got an email that said Iko is smoking pot today. He's way out there, like he's on mushrooms.
Well, you know, take it for what it's worth. You know, he's a shopper though. He's a shopper. He knows what to look for. If he's gonna get the best quality. You know him. You know, it's because he's got that organic stuff.
I can't resist. You know, the Pep Boys started in Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
I heard.
When I was a kid. And Andy, Mo, and Mac, right? Manny ran the store in Red Bank, New Jersey. And every Saturday, we did a run into Red Bank. We went to the Agway, you know, to get feed and whatever agricultural product. And then if one of the tractors or you know, the trucks or one of the pieces of equipment had a problem, we went to Pep Boys in Red Bank, and Manny waited on us from behind the counter. So again, just a little piece of trivia, but that those guys were real. I mean, this wasn't some made up you know, whatever. A bunch of executives get together and make up Pep Boys. Pep Boys, they were 3 guys, and they were all characters. They really were, and that's what Pep Boys came from. Where it came from, it was actually 3 guys running an auto parts store. So,
okay, I got a new nickname for you. I got a new nickname for you, Iko, Mr. Knowledge. How's that? Mr. Knowledge. All right. Listen, I'm not going to keep you. I just wanted to chime in and just say how much I really appreciate you guys. I really do. You really put a hell of an effort, and we're really going to be missed. And that's the truth. And you guys know it. You know, you're really loved by a lot of people, and I'm just happy to, you know, to partake in what little time I had. And I just love you guys, and God bless you. I'll talk to you Friday if I'm not tied up.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
You know, again, the way I learned to swim was I was sitting on the end of a diving board, and it cracked in half and dumped me into Long Island Sound when I was 5 years old. And that's how I feel, that's where I feel we are now. We're all sitting on the end of this diving board. And it's going to crack, and we all got to learn to swim. That's all there is to it.
Okay, and as a parting comment again, I'm looking for a merchant marine or Coast Guard captain or something like that was there at the inception of the keel, lane of the keel. Please contact me at the wingitcall@gmail.com. So that being said, Iko, without a lot of fanfare, what is the last word of the day?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you.
The conference is now completed. Goodbye.